Hello everybody, my name is Evita Malm. I'm from Lohja, I'm the marketing manager. I would like to introduce our other participants, our very busy mayor, new mayor there, Mika Sivula, and our environmental director, Pekka Puistosalo. Has anybody been to Lohja, first of all? Ooh, okay, great. So we have fans in the audience, that's cool. Why I'm here today, or why we are here today? First of all, we will tell a little bit about Lohja. And then I will ask for your help after that. So, for those of you who haven't been to Lohja or don't know too much about it, we are located about 30 minutes from Helsinki, 20 minutes from Espoo, about 40 minutes from Helsinki airport, and hour 15 minutes from Turku. So we are quite nicely there in the center of everything. We call ourselves a dynamic city. We also have a very lively countryside. After 2009, when we merged with Sammatti, and 2013 when we merged with Lohja, Nummi, Pusula, we grew, our land space grew quite a lot. The inhabitants that we at the moment have, a little bit less than 50,000 people live there. We have also a very vivid, or very lively free time public. So we have a lot of summer houses and cottages there. I think we are about fourth largest free time municipality in Finland after Parainen. The square kilometers, so we are situated, our inhabitants are situated in quite in a wide area. We have about 20% of this square kilometers is water. So we have Lake Lohja. Maybe you've been visited and have been to one of our beaches. It's one of the biggest, or actually it's the biggest of southern Finland, biggest lakes. We are a bilingual city, so that means that we have also Swedish-speaking inhabitants, about 3.5% of them. And about the development at this moment, we seem to be quite interesting to the constructors, because we are at the moment developing a couple of different shopping centers and planning them, as well as quite many apartment buildings at the area. 1 hour train, does it say anything to you? From Helsinki to Turku in 1 hour. So that's of course our dream as well. We just got the government grant for planning for 1 hour train. That would mean that it would stop also in Lohja, and that would make a big difference for our city, obviously. Local democracy. Lohja has taken quite big step towards it. That means that we have different areas that have their own small local democracy groups, and we listen to them as a city. So we try to learn from them and hear them. And that's also why we're here. We are interested in hearing from others than ourselves to develop our city. Smooth and easy living. That's how life is in Lohja. I used to live in Helsinki and Espoo, and I can actually vouch for this. Really. So we have a lot of sports, shopping, culture. We have theaters, symphony orchestra, study opportunities, Laurea and Luxia. So, for example, Laurea has a startup-minded teaching methods. They try to get their students to be business-oriented. And Luxia has media studies. So we have quite good students coming from there, and also helping the city with planning and implementing some of research projects. Short distances, that's what we are also that's what we give our inhabitants. So that means that whenever you take your kids to school or to hobbies and whatever you on a free time do. It's a short distance and no traffic, which is amazing after living in Töölö for a long time. And proximity to the metropolitan area. Health services, safe. We made this research this spring. How do people in Espoo, Helsinki, Vihti see us? What they think when they hear the word Lohja. And one of the most important factors was safety. That's sort of very strange because usually I feel that in Finland, in a way, you should feel safe. You feel safe, but it comes up in every research and analysis right now. So this is, in a nutshell, what we are. A family-oriented city, 50,000 people. It's comparable to Hyvinkää and Porvoo. And then we get to the business environment. We have, city gives advice as well to businesses, but we have Novaco, which is, we have an incubator there. They give a lot of advice to existing companies, new companies, businesses. About 3,000 businesses we have at the moment, around 17,000 jobs. Most of the jobs are in service industry. And especially travel, leisure activities are at the moment and rising, so it's very strong in Lohja. We have more than Porvoo and Hanko people staying nights there. It's because of Kisakallio, Päiväkumpu, maybe you've been one of them. So we're a very popular travel destination, and that surprises some people. But Sammatti, for example, is a very traditional Lönnrot-based cultural village, Karjalohja as well. We have Tuturi mines. Has anybody been to Tuturi mine? Okay, great, amazing, yeah. So there's a working mine, limestone mine. We make tours in, so you can go 100 meters deep. One of our goals right now is to develop it further, so make it a real exciting place to visit again and again. Kone Industries has just recently, they invested money in Lohja and started testing their the fastest elevator shaft there. So it goes 330 meters down. They couldn't find anything else where to test it in whole Europe, and they came to Lohja. So that's great. And Nordkalk is also the biggest producer of limestone products in northern Scandinavia, northern Europe. So we have services a lot. Industry and manufacturing is the second biggest employer. Maybe Lohja is, for those of you who know Lohja, it is very traditional industry city. So wood, plastic. That's what we are used to known for, and paper. Some of the biggest companies that we have, international companies, Metsäwood, of course, paper, Sappi as well, paper pulp, Ortex, Plastics, very famous plastic producers, both are from Lohja, Hyrles, sheet metal, Saajos, fire doors. So Enix is engineering. That's what we have. We have a very strong industrial background. But what we're missing is, of course, ecosystem for innovation and startups. That's why we're here today. So in a way, Lohja is a very good place to set up a business, to start innovating, but it's not perfect. Absolutely not. And this is the road we are starting now, to build Lohja so that it would accommodate and let you innovate and let you succeed. And we need your help in this. So that's one reason we are here today. What we have now, if we think about the current ecosystem that we could offer, for example, startups. We have these international growth companies, so we as a client, okay, good, City as a piloting platform, great, but we also have companies that are situated in Lohja that need help. We have an incubator, but according to the Prime Minister's latest, if you have read this startup bottlenecks that the Prime Minister's office just released a month ago, incubators are sort of not so in demand anymore. So we're still living in the 2000, year 2000. Fast decision making. We are a lean city, so that means that we can make fast decisions. And we can help you personally as well. Wood plastic industry, they need a lot of solutions, innovations, 3D. Short distance, like I told you before. Laurea Luxia can support. And agile city development. So we are in the bigger cities, you need to call millions of people first before you know who to talk to and where to pitch and how the things work. And with us, it's a simple way of approaching us and talking to us and seeing if we can go further. So that's our strong points at the moment. But that's a problem. I mean, that's where we are right now. We want to get stronger and we want to be more of use to you. And also we want to invite you to innovate for us. These are some of the examples that we could build upon or we could go further with. Business incubators, accelerators, those are one of the options that how City can help a startup. Facilitating, so we could organize events to help you out. That's one of the things, hackathons or off hacks, or just to get to know you and get you to know, for example, our biggest companies. Forums, seminars, we can offer space, of course. Then one interesting part would be to be a pilot platform for you. So for those of you who have ever worked with a city or a municipality before, you know there's a wide range from health services all up to customer service. And we are changing. Lohja, City of Lohja, we are changing as an organization. And at the same time, we are changing a lot of things like digitalization. So we are very curious to hear about the newest innovations and newest possible ways to communicate with our inhabitants or with our other companies or whatnot. Procurement policies, you know Helsinki has done this, so they're very transparent in the procuring process. You know these are very difficult. I can stand here and tell you that great, we're going to try everything out, but then comes the procurement process. So everything that goes over 30,000 has to go to Hilma, and you have to compete. Usually it's about the money, and then we have also politics. So there's a lot of things that I can say that we are lean, but I could sort of promise you that we are willing to be lean, but we're not there yet. Tekes is trying to figure out ways to help this procuring process, and we will listen to them as well and talk with them and try to figure out how we can get from the situation we're at this moment to this transparency where it will help you guys as well to participate in competitions, and we can actually launch some of the solutions that you would suggest. Study opportunities. So these are sort of the ones, fun things that we can do and develop and make stronger and figure out in order to give you a more interesting and better ecosystem. We can talk about this later more. So let's start. What we promised today. I can promise. I can't promise to try everything out, but I can promise this. We will gather knowledge and engage you. That means that we're going to start a register of startups. We will get to know startups. We will see what's happening out there. Engage you means that after this presentation, there's a link that I hope you guys will answer. If not today, then another day. It's in Lohja.fi. So that means that we get your feedback. We'll organize events, get to know you there as well. Second, we will set up an advisory board to help us. Thank you, Dimitri. This was a great idea. We've been thinking about this before in another section, but so we will find people to tell us what we should do. So yeah, that's the thing. So people who are representing corporations, investors, startups. So we know what's happening out there. So we don't do decisions by ourselves or think that we know, but we will really ask. And we hope that we can give them some power in order to affect our policies and policy making, especially policy making. We will host an event and invite you. Even I'm not sure if it's going to be hackathon or off-hack or just a seminar where you're going to meet people and companies. But if you leave your contact information on the questionnaire or send me email, I'll tell you later where, then we will definitely invite you and let you know what's happening. And this is going to be next year. We will launch an open challenge. The details of it are still a bit vague, but it will probably be something to do with city development or healthcare, education. There's a good example in Barcelona where they actually had different groups in the compete in the challenge. So that means that, for example, they had all from healthcare to stealing bikes, so solutions for those. So we'll think about this, but we will call you out and let you know when this happens if you leave your contact information. And the most important thing is we will be open-minded and willing to learn. So we want to learn from you guys, and we want you to help us make you succeed as well. The questionnaire that's going to be on, or actually it is already in lohja.fi. You can find it at ajankohtaiset. So you can see it there. It says startups. Help us. It's about this. So we'll ask a couple of questions about your history and your preferences. And also there's something you can write about if you already sort of have an idea how you could help the public sector, or if you have already worked with public sector. Of course, you can already tell us about it and we will be in contact. But most of the important thing is to get your contact information so we can approach you when we have an open challenge or we're going to organize an event. So let us get to know you. That's the most important thing. And we really hope to hear from you. Thank you.
So basically, would you be interested in providing basically opportunity for Nokia to do proof of concept or like some pilot related, for example, for proactive environmental monitoring and related ambient conditions and smart city related stuff?
Sounds very good. We, Pekka, who's the environmental director, we actually just talked about this same thing, that everything to do with city development, how we can get people to interact and build their own city or environmental section.
Actually, it's about both people and conditions that are influencing people. And
yes, we're very interested to hear.
By people. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, please contact us. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a little experience from Nairobi, Kenya. Over there, people work in a way like the UN Habitat, for example, and UN Environmental Program is centered there. So they share a lot of information together. They use the statistical company Ipsos Synovate as an aggregator. But have you thought of sharing the data from municipal projects and economic environment, for example, as open data? It would help a lot in developing different cities and you working together with different cities.
we need to share the data and ask people, ask startups, ask businesses to help us, as we are asking you today.
I think you had this floating bar in the middle of that lake, Kaljasi or something like.
Still there.
Yeah, I think you could have the only floating startup hub in the world. That would be like great branding for Lohja. Kind of really unique. And I once visited, I think Fairfax, outside Washington, and they had an incubation service for startups. And how they tempted startups is that they offered 15 years freedom from taxes, and that would be a nice reason. We would move from this Maria hub right away if you give us that. Thank you.
We have been creating the indoor flying drone, so fully autonomous, and we are first aiming and cooperating with the security companies with that, but also we think I personally live in Vihti, so I know the Lohja pretty well, and also the landscape in Lohja, so I know also that in Lohja different, maybe the buildings that city owns, but also these like the factories that are and the manufacturing factories that you mentioned in your presentation there, and they might have some kind of a both of the need for this like a security surveillance, but at a long distance, if there in case there's some kind of alarms. So in that western area, sort of the length where the security companies are and where the actually buildings are, it might take sort of like a 20 minutes, 40 minutes time until the sort of the security guard can go there in case of the fire or some other alarm. So I would assume that there would be lots of potential for us also in Lohja, so that our robot will be there and in case of an alarm, or even not in an alarm, to do the proactive monitoring of the surfaces in indoor premises. So do you think that we could have some potential customers in Lohja?
Yes, I see there could be a big potential for that, but actually we are very safety city. So I think that little bit limits your business opportunities.
So you are fully protected from elements.
How can you help the startups to also reach the companies themselves and not just the city on its own?
That's a good question. Lohja has used to be old industrial city. Big heavy factories and industry there. And as you know, that's not the thing in Finland right now. We are losing jobs and losing those factories. They're suffering a lot, and that's our problem. But anyway, we still have pretty much heavy industry. They are already in our network, and if you come to Lohja and in our network also, you are connected to those big businesses as well.
Question about your healthcare system. Are you using it because we are in elderly care, young elderly and rehabilitation, and maybe are making software for smartwatches. Is Lohja having their own elderly care unit, or are you using private companies?
We have many of those companies from private sector, and then we have many units of our own.